there, Quirky Birders, it's Lynn here, and time for your next instalment of the series, the Birthday Month Flowers. Now today we're going to be painting this beautiful little daffodil. We're going to be doing it completely freehand from the brush, so there is no pre-drawing required, and you're just going to be using two colours. You're going to be using a lovely bright and vibrant yellow, and then you're going to be using a nice shade of green that you can add a little bit of warmth to and a bit more vibrancy by just popping in a little bit of yellow into your green. So we'll make a start. Brush wise, I've got here a size 2 and I've also got a size 5, so it's up to you what size brush you would like to use. I'm going to begin with my size 5, and I'm going to start by taking up a little bit of that lovely sort of bright lemon hue colour. So keeping it nice and vibrant and working directly from the palette, so the pigment is quite strong with regards to the colour of the yellow. So we're going to begin with painting the trumpet of the daffodil, and we're just going to begin by painting two little lines that are coming in to each other just towards the base of the flower itself. Now you can just round that base off ever so slightly, and then we can just start to fill all of that area in. Now we want a nice little sort of concave area across the top of the flower, and all I'm going to do is literally just dot and stipple and dab that colour just around the edge of the trumpet of the flower, and we'll just colour that in full. You can leave one or two areas that are a little bit lighter. You don't have to completely fill the entire area. Now petals wise, our little daffodil just has 5 little petals on show, and we're going to start by just adding in the one that's facing forward. So we're just going to do a very, very simple sort of leaf shape. Just bring that to a point. We'll add some of the colour, and you'll note that I'm leaving a little bit of a gap to the base of that daffodil there, so we'll just bring that colour down. And we'll bring another one that's just out to the side there. And again, we'll do the same with that, just bring that colour through. I still haven't reloaded my brush, so I'm still using exactly the same amount of paint that I picked up at the very beginning, just as we're putting in these little petals. And we'll go again up the back. Bring a little one in at the side here. I'll probably just take one more that's just tucked in there. So the leaves are all different shapes, just to create that little bit of movement. And we'll just completely fill in those areas, like I say, not overworking it, just so it still remains nice and pale. So while the head of the flower is just drying before we do any more work to that, the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of colour onto the stem and the leaf. Now you can use a little bit of yellow and green mixed, so you've got a little bit of warmth, and you can change your brush if you would like. So you can go to something a little bit lighter, so we'll go to a thinner brush for a finer point, and let's go to a size 2. And then we'll just bring in that lovely stem all the way down. And then again, just a very, very simple linear leaf shape just coming off to the side there. Let's put a little bit of a turn on the leaf Of course, you don't have to keep these that they're just singular in the flowers. You can actually put a group of the daffodils together, and then you can just have some fun with the leaves. You can keep it fairly flat, or you can just add a little bit of a twist to those leaves if you want something just that little bit different. So we've got our underpainting done now and the base of our colour. So now we're just going to make it just that little bit more richer and just to enhance it ever so slightly. So I'm still going to use this lovely thinner brush, this size 2. And we're going to still use that lovely bright yellow as well. So we'll turn our attention to begin with to the petals, and we'll just put in some of the darker colour onto the petals themselves. Again, not losing that lightness underneath, so don't overwork it, just keep it nice and light and just have those areas of highlight as well that work to your advantage. We'll bring the colour down to the tip of the petals. And then we'll just put a little bit of the colour just in that trumpet itself. Of course, you can always add the colour orange. You can put a little bit of the orange trumpet in there as well, just to change the way that the daffodil looks. So we'll just go over our leaf with a little bit more detail as well. It's got that lovely turn. Okay. So I'm happy with that. We just need to let that dry for just a couple of moments before we continue with the ink details, and I'll be back in just a moment to carry out those details. Okay, so our little watercolour illustration of the daffodil is now dry, and you can see that it's also been joined by a second daffodil as well. And this time I've just added a third colour in. I've just added a little bit of the orange into the trumpet and just bled that a little bit into the leaves as well. So you can just change things ever so slightly as you're sort of composing your illustration and adding a few more different details to your picture. So ink-wise, I'm going to be just using a 0.3, so just keeping it nice and fine as far as the finer details are concerned. And we'll just start by putting a single line down the stem of that daffodil. And then we can just follow that lovely sort of twisted shape that we've done on the leaf. And we'll come around this way as well. Let's just put a second line along there just to add a little bit of depth to that leaf. You can put a couple of little lines at the base of the leaf if you want to, and just attach that to the stem itself. So now we'll just turn our attention to the daffodil, and we'll start again like we did with the paintbrush with those 2 lines. We'll pop in the forward facing petal outline. Like so. And then the edge of the trumpet, you just want a really nice sort of fluted effect creating there. So all we're going to do on that is we'll just sort of wiggle and scribble our way around the daffodil. And then we can add a couple of little details to these petals. Like so. You can then always write the word daffodil along the line of a leaf or up the stem. But that is your very simple watercolour illustration for the birth month of March. Do have some fun with it. Do have some fun with painting your interpretation of the daffodil. And I shall be back very, very soon indeed for the next instalment of your birth month flowers, which is going to be the lovely sweet pea for the month of April. Have fun painting. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.